So here's the real reason why I'm still shooting Canon after 15 years. And no, it's not clear science. I own a lot of Canon gear, cameras, lenses, and a few empty boxes lying around just to remind myself how expensive my life choices have been. And every once in a while, when I go on a shoot, there will be someone out there telling me, why are you shooting on Canon? That thing sucks. The brand is like ridiculous, it's bad. Now first off, chill. Just chill. And second, let's talk about it. Have I invested tens and thousands of dollars into like a camera brand just because I'm like a mindless Canon cultist? Is that even a word? Cultist? Yeah, probably. Or is there, I don't know, maybe like an actual deeper reason why I trust the brand, the system to make a living out of? Spoiler, it's not because I think Canon's flawless. They have made some absolutely ridiculous decisions over the years. So here's why I'm still shooting Canon after 15 years. And no, this is not a TikTok for a loyalty brand. It's more about practicality, financial survivals, and just ease of mind. Really. So here's a little context. I do a lot of photography work. Started with portraits, and then nowadays I mostly do events and architecture. I also do videography, mostly for social media. And I've been shooting Canon for more than 15 years now. And that is like forever in the internet years. And no, Canon does not pay me or sponsor me whatsoever. The very first camera I got just happened to be a Canon, and it was called the Rebel XS. It was a plasticky, clunky like piece of potato in today's standard. It had this tiny little screen at the back of the camera, and it was a game changer. That's the camera I learned all of the camera settings, photography, and basically everything. I got comfortable with the system and started with the kit lens and also a telephoto lens that comes with the package. And then eventually I got the 50 nifty 1.8, obviously. It was a fantastic combo. So it was a great portrait lens. And then I started shooting for friends, like just college kids messing around, and then here and there, events. Eventually people start paying me for work, and I had a lot of more money saved up by then, and then that's when I eventually got into a full-frame camera, which was the Canon 6D, the first one, not the Mark II, and not even the 5D Mark IV. A full-frame 6D was plenty back then. And then we have like Casey Neistat and then Peter McKinnon coming out on YouTube everywhere, and then everyone's using Canon. So I didn't think much about it. And plus, I was too busy with work. Like, I don't have time to check a new camera system every day or every week, or whenever camera brand release a new camera nowadays. Like, who has time for that? That's apparently now a trend. So after using the 6D to make a living for 10 years, I started to dabble into videography. That's when I upgraded to the Canon, I believe it was the EOS R system. That's where the RF system came out. And mainly because a lot of my clients are asking for, hey, do you also do video works here and there? And video is starting to become a thing with all the social media. And I figured that's a great excuse to upgrade my camera after 10 years. And at the same time, I also learned the video function on my camera. And then eventually hard work pays off. I was able to upgrade to the Canon R5 Mark II. In between this time period, did I miss all the megapixels like out there? Oh yeah, definitely. Like Sony released like new cameras almost every, I don't know, every half a year, every year. Everything was just happening so fast. But at the same time, my wallet also thanked me for not jumping onto every single new cameras. So why after 15 years doing this full time still with Canon? It's actually a very easy question to answer, because like this is simply a different road that we are looking at right now. Like throughout my 15 years of doing this full time, pretty much all of the full-time photographer, videographer, they don't switch camera gear system like all that often. Most of them stuck with like a system for like decades, even more than 1 or 2 decades. Whereas the internet world is like, it's on a different level field because of all the marketing. And of course, companies want you to get the newest, shiniest gadget. And if you're putting yourself in that kind of environment, I feel like it's very easy to get lost in midst of like getting gear instead of like actually practicing on your crafts. And I'm not saying that Canon is like better than the other brand. I feel like a lot of brand is like fantastic nowadays. You simply can't go wrong with any camera now because all of them are just so good. Yes, I have tried other brands, Nikon, Sony, Great autofocus system, by the way. Fujifilm, amazing color. And also my trusty little Ricoh here that I've been playing for years. Wow, probably 4 or 5 years now. And it's lovely, they are great. But that's not gonna replace my workhorse, the main system that I use to make a living out of. Like, have I thought about switching to Sony? Yeah, of course, but that's gonna take time, the energy, and also like financial dips, at least a little bit because you're selling a used. Unless you have like a Fujifilm X106, then yeah, that's probably going to keep the price up. Or maybe even higher down the road, who knows. But most likely you have to put in more money to switch system and more time to learn the system well, to the point where it's like second nature whenever you're like shooting on the spot. And it's actually quite easy to think about this. Like comfort means speed, speed means efficiency. And when you're efficient, that means more money. It's simple as that. And it's not like because I don't want to learn other systems. Like, it's actually quite fun to me. Like once in a while I dabbing into the menus of different systems, Fujifilm, Sony, Nikon, and it's, you know, it's fun to get like that refreshed feeling. But at the end of the day, creating is creating. Doesn't matter what gear you're using. It's like you're not gonna become a better writer if you all of a sudden buys like a Mont Blanc fountain pen. And it all comes down to this. It still works. Like my Canon still works, the lens is still fantastic, the autofocus, the system, the lens is just gorgeous. Not the actual looks of the lens, but the photo, that's, you know what I'm saying. So if your gear works and the quality is still good enough for professional jobs and your clients are happy, then I really don't see any reasons to switch. Like if I want to talk about good things about Canon, then yeah, there's plenty. Maybe like autofocus is great. Like I feel like it's just so easy to get focused on Canon, honestly. I know Sony is great too. I've seen like my friends using Sonys and oh my god, they're really, really good in catching up. Considering like Canon and Nikon has been like out here playing the camera field for way longer than Sony did. And the low light on Sony, it's just phenomenal. But I feel like there's one thing that Canon does this really well, and that is the grip. Like Fujifilm, no, that thing feels like a soap in your hands. And Sony, it hurts like by just holding it, not even like a minute. It doesn't feel comfortable. I mean, if you're setting your camera on a tripod all the time, then fine. But if you do events photography like I do, you have to be holding that camera like all day long. I feel like Nikon might be the only camera system that came close to the grip game. It is comfortable, but at the end of the day, I still prefer the grip on the Canon. It just feels so good, like a glove to your hands. And it makes it feel like you're holding a toy in your hand instead of a toy. Right now, almost every camera that comes out is stupidly good. The entry-level camera nowadays can produce really great results that any of the professionals back then, maybe 10 years ago, can only dream of. So yeah, every camera company is battling it out. Good for us. Innovation happens and we win. But let's not pretend switching system is this magical, effortless experience. It's usually more expensive, stressful, and time-consuming, unless you have all the money in the world and no deadlines. Most working photographers stay with what's familiar, reliable, and gets the job done. That's why almost every photographer I know has been stuck with one brand for years, even a decade. So am I a Canon fanboy? Sure. But I'm more of a fan of using a tool that allows me to create my best work until something truly amazing comes out and worth switching for comes along. But right now, that's still Canon for me. Thanks for watching. If you're still here, congrats. You have survived another episode of me ranting about cameras disguised as life advice. I'll catch you in the next one.